Hi everyone! Welcome to my cooking channel Japanese Food at Home. I'm Chef Reina from Japan. Today, I'm excited to share a recipe for matcha dorayaki. As many of you may already know, dorayaki consists of two small pancakes sandwiching a filling. In my previous dorayaki recipe, mango dorayaki, I used a typical dorayaki batter which doesn't necessarily contain glutinous rice flour. But this time, I'm adding it to give the batter a slightly stretchy mochi-like texture which I really love. And assembling the dorayaki with a flavorful kumquat compote and rich sour cream. Alright then, let's go through the ingredient list. To make the dorayaki batter, you'll need shiratamako, water, an egg, johakuto, honey, salt, cake flour, matcha powder, and baking soda. Shiratamako is a type of glutinous rice flour commonly used in Japanese sweets. If you'd like to learn more about it, check out my earlier video on strawberry mochi. Aside from matcha powder, the rest of the ingredients are the same as the batter in my mango dorayaki recipe. If you're interested in how each ingredient works in the batter, I recommend watching that video as well. For greasing the frying pan, use a neutral oil, such as canola or vegetable oil. For the filling, we'll be using kumquat compote and a cream made from sour cream and powdered sugar. The recipe for the kumquat compote is already available in one of my previous short videos. It's super easy and delicious, so I highly recommend giving it a try. But if kumquats aren't available, you can substitute citrus marmalade instead. So now, let's start by preparing the dorayaki batter. As usual, you need to dissolve shiratamako before combining it with other ingredients, as it comes in coarse granules and takes longer to dissolve than other dry ingredients. First, add about 2/3 of the water to the shiratamako, and stir with a rubber spatula, allowing the granules to absorb the water evenly. Then, add the remaining water little by little, just until the flour becomes soft enough to mash the granules. As I always say, mashing thoroughly at this stage is the key to achieving a smooth texture in the final product. This step requires some effort, so you may want to place a no-slip mat or a damp towel under the bowl to keep it from moving. Once the flour has turned into a smooth paste, add the rest of the water and make sure no coarse granules remain. Next, in another mixing bowl, beat the egg with a whisk. Then add the sugar, honey, and salt. Mix well until fully incorporated. After that, add the shiratamako mixture and combine thoroughly. Now place a strainer over the bowl and sift in the cake flour, matcha powder, and baking soda. Stir in the center of the bowl first, then gradually whisk outward until fully incorporated. Since this batter contains less wheat flour than typical dorayaki batter, you don't have to worry about overmixing and developing gluten, which can make the texture tougher. Now, the batter is ready to bake. This is the set of utensils you'll need for baking dorayaki pancakes: a cup of oil, a folded paper towel, and cooking chopsticks. These are for greasing the pan. and a turner for flipping and transferring the pancakes. It's helpful to have everything ready next to the stove before you start baking. In my earlier video on mango dorayaki, I shared step-by-step guidance on how to bake dorayaki pancakes along with useful tips and tricks. So if you're new to making dorayaki, I recommend checking it out before you start baking. First, preheat a frying pan over low heat and grease the base with oil. Dip the folded paper towel in the oil, then spread a thin, even layer over the entire surface. Next, flip the paper over and wipe off any excess oil with the dry side. The key to achieving a perfectly uniform brown color is to apply the oil as thinly and evenly as possible. Now let's check the temperature. Try placing the pan on a soaking wet towel. If you hear a sizzling sound like this, not too loud or too quiet, that means it's ready. So now let's pour in the batter. Be sure to stir quickly before scooping it up each time. Pour a little full of batter into the center of the pan, forming a 9 to 10 centimeters round. The batter will naturally spread, so stop pouring when it's slightly smaller than your ideal size. Then just wait. After a while, bubbles will start to appear on the surface. This is your signal that it's time to flip. Move the turner briskly from side to side, gradually sliding it under the pancake. Then flip it over without hesitation. Just go for it. Look at that beautiful golden brown. Continue cooking for another minute over the lowest heat until the pancake puffs up and cooks through. If it starts browning too much, you can turn off the heat after flipping and let it finish cooking with the residual heat. Finally, remove it from the pan and transfer it to a wire rack. Repeat the process until you have a total of 8 pancakes or until the batter is used up. Alright, while the pancakes are cooling, let's prepare the filling. To make the cream, add the powdered sugar to the sour cream and mix well until fully incorporated. Since sour cream has less moisture than fresh cream, powdered sugar is the best choice because it dissolves quickly and helps create a smooth texture. Now it's time to assemble the dorayaki. First, pair up pancakes that are similar in size and shape to make 4 sets. Next, spread the cream over the flat side of one pancake from each pair. Then place 4 halves of kumquat compote on top. After that, place the other pancake on top to sandwich the filling. Finally, gently press it from the top and bottom with your hands. And that's it! Enjoy this perfect balance of earthy matcha, rich sour cream, and juicy bright kumquats. Well, that's how you make a delicious matcha dorayaki. If you love dorayaki, you'll definitely enjoy this matcha version. Give it a try and share it with someone special. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Have a great day with delicious food. See you next time.